All right. He is nice. Is welcome
Is
to
that nice?
show. Hey, nice shirt. I like that shirt. I actually don't know where mine is.
My favorite shirts that we have.
I like that one.
It's just wonderful.
Out of ideas.
And I feel like this is one of our shirts that you could just wear randomly, and people might get like a sensible chuckle out of it, even if they don't know what the point is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is what Linus Tech Tips is all about. Getting a little chuckle out of it, even if you have no idea what the point was. Welcome to the WAN show. We got a great show for you guys today. Actually, I'm really not that sold on today being a great show.
No. But
Electric.
sometimes those are the best shows.
Sure. So there's like electric vehicle news, which
Hooray.
usually like ratings are just like when we talk about that. But we we'll talk about it anyway. Samsung, more Note 7 news.
Wow, and then that's it for main topics. Then we go to rapid fire, which is where we put topics that we're very unsure about.
Logitech has a new remote for giving the best PowerPoint presentations ever.
Oh god.
And in other news, surprise, surprise, Time Warner cheated customers on internet speed.
Noctua is
Says New York
releasing
Attorney General.
CPU coolers,
For Ryzen.
which
All right.
is good, but like, meh.
That was it. That was the show today. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Sure. And I don't think there's any sound in the intro because I actually did get Ed to fix it before the show today, but I just sat down and I did not do the thing.
To
where
be
I
fair,
fix
you were
it.
recording a very cool video.
Yes, I was. On a Friday afternoon when I'm supposed to be preparing for WAN show, but
Yep.
glass houses and stones and not throwing them because you were also recording a very cool video.
Yeah. I wasn't trashing on you. I wasn't trashing on you at all.
No, not at all. I mean, this is not a trash relationship.
No.
This is a
It's a seat relationship.
a seat
That's a reference that
relationship.
no one will get
Seat
unless they were
relationship.
in this office, in this section of the office before the WAN show went live.
Oh, that was a very inappropriate comment that you made.
What?
Very inappropriate comment. Totally inappropriate. The worst. The worst comment.
My friends called me. They were like, "It's the worst comment I've ever heard."
The worst comment I've ever heard. All right, I'm just firing up Twitch. So, you know what? Since this news is terrible, I am going to create my own news.
Oh,
and,
wicked.
You are going to stall for me
Okay.
for like 2 minutes while
you
I go
gonna-
grab the most amazing news ever.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
Yeah. I guess I'll like lightly talk about a topic because I'm not entirely sure what's going on even. Electric cars and cheap solar could halt fossil fuel growth by 2020. Cool. Honestly, there's not a ton else to say about that. I have no idea where Linus went. It says by 2035, electric vehicles could make up 35% of the road transport market, over 66% by 2050. This is a report on The Guardian. I don't think I can even show you this right now. Let me see. Here we go. Oh dear, what is this? Okay, no, we're going to switch back.
Okay.
Is this all you're going to show, or are you going to take it out?
Okay. Okay.
You got to hold
Here,
it.
I'm just gonna put it over here.
Yeah. there we
Okay.
go. You got to focus now.
That's fine. Okay, so
Are we going to open it?
behind me, no, I'm not gonna open it. I'm saving it. I'm saving this moment. So, what does that look?
You're going to show them a brown box.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't even have, look at this. It doesn't even have a shipping label on it. No shipping label.
So it's hand delivered.
Unmarked package. This is for something. Okay, first of all, these 3 boxes, because this is one of 3,
Okay.
will be the most expensive unboxing I have ever done.
Why does this happen like every month?
The most expensive unboxing I have ever done.
Okay.
Okay, for now, because there's something more expensive coming.
See?
Next month,
See?
next month.
See?
Okay. These are from Seagate.
Oh, I know what this is.
Okay, and this is the official announcement. So so next weekend, I'm actually going to be here. Wow. I'm going to be here at the office for both days on the weekend. I'm going to be working on a couple of things. So next weekend, I'm going to be doing an updated look at our server room. The last time you guys saw our server room, the most recent time you guys saw our server room, I was breaking into it by taking the air vent off the door, which, by the way, would not be a successful way to break into our server room, okay? So, I hate to bust your bubble, but not everything you see on TV is the truth, okay? Anyway, I'm doing a server room update where we're gonna clean it up because everything in there has been running for almost 2 years now, some of it. We're gonna cable manage it, something that I really should have done a very, very long time ago.
It's really bad.
It's like abominable. Like you have to kind of step gingerly when you're around the back of the cabinet, because if you step on the button of a power bar or a power squid, you could potentially knock out a bunch of servers. So that's terrible. I'm going to be doing some server consolidation with VMs. So like our surveillance server is going to be combined with a nightly backup server for all the machines in the office, and combined with, I've told you about this before, so I'm going to set up like, might be some combination, but CrashPlan, OwnCloud, some kind of just like free cloud backup solution for everyone who works here. So that's going to be one box. I'm moving the network switches to the back. I don't know why I didn't put the network switches in the back in the first place. So I'm going to put those in the back. So that's going to help with cable management. We're changing our Wi-Fi to the new Wave 2 AC Ubiquity gear. So our Wi-Fi is going to be much faster.
That's good.
We're putting acoustic dampening material. We're lining the entire inside of the room.
That's also good.
With $3,000 worth of acoustic dampening stuff.
What?
So I got in touch with the guys who, actually, these guys they're pretty cool. So this was, I talked to Mike from Silent PC Review back when we moved in here.
Is this the denim stuff? Or
so this was the stuff that he recommended that we covered the entire inside of the warehouse in. And basically, we eventually concluded that it was cost prohibitive. There was no like standardized way to mount it. Like we wouldn't even be able to find a contractor who was going to put like in-wall insulation in our rafters because it would block the sprinklers. Like there were a ton of problems, but we didn't do it. But it's this cotton fiber shredded insulation that has wonderful heat thermal characteristics, as well as not emitting any odors or chemicals, which we definitely experienced with this cellulose spray-on stuff in here, but is gone now. And then the other thing that's great about it is that its acoustic properties are unreal, like just outstanding, both in terms of, and there's two different ways that you can measure the like the acoustic canceling and blocking properties of a material. There's the echo reduction, so there's like the scattering, and then there's also the stopping, like the blocking from transmission. And this is excellent for both. So we're going to line the entire inside of the room, and we're going to set up dust filtration on the backup intake and exhaust of the room, so that, well, just the intake actually, so that in the event that the air conditioning system, which has been added since the last update, like it's been overhauled, so the air conditioning system, in the event that that fails, it won't completely suffocate in there, and I'll have some time to go and deal with it. Okay, the last thing that I'm doing is I'm making room for a project that has been in the works with Seagate and 45 drives for months now. Yeah, for quite a while. And it has been in preparation for us to move to shooting 8K. So some of you probably noticed, I'll just go grab it.
Especially on Floatplane.
Yeah,
it looks better there.
Floatplane updates after, actually. So some of you may have noticed, especially those of you who have watched the Desk PC finale, where we do a bunch of glam footage. shot on red. We've actually got an Epic W with the helium sensor now. So we are shooting our videos at somewhere between 6 and 8K, depending on how Brandon wants to utilize the different sensor crops and all of that stuff. Okay, so that's a big storage problem. And I'm a pack rat, digital pack rat, physical pack rat. I'm a pack rat. The first step is admitting you have a problem. The second step is completely ignoring it.
I was just going to say.
And getting more storage. So I'm trying to figure out how to archive this stuff at some kind of reasonable approximation of the original quality. That's where this comes in. We have officially outgrown Unraid for the vault. I'm actually going to be using Unraid for that multi-purpose machine with the Windows VMs for surveillance and the crash plan thing and all that stuff. So that is actually going to be like a 100 terabyte plus machine. So there will be a lot of storage on there for everyone here, which is going to be super cool. But anyway, we have outgrown that for the vault, and this box behind me is for something that I'm calling my pet project. And pet is short for, as some of you are probably guessing in Twitch chat right now,
Oh my God.
PETABYTE. Yes, my friends, the goal is to have a single addressable volume, network share, okay, with a petabyte of total space. So we're going to take all 170 or so, 180 or so terabytes that are on the current vault. We're going to migrate them over to this. The whole thing's going to be using a combination of probably CentOS with ZFS and then GlusterFS running over top of it so that we can actually, because, I mean, how do you put a petabyte worth of drives in one box? You don't. So we're going to have two.
Not yet.
60 drive storinators, you're right, it is coming soon. Two 60 drive storinators that are going to be running as a cluster. And then possibly a solid state cache.
What are you using for that? What OS?
We're using CentOS with ZFS, and then we're using GlusterFS over top of it.
So it's come full circle. The forum used to be CentOS.
There you go. So this is that, and the other two boxes is 100 10 terabyte Seagate enterprise capacity drives. 100 of them. And then in order to achieve the addressable 1 petabyte space, I'm going to borrow some of the 6 and 8 terabytes that they sent me before, and I'm going to create a couple more Gluster bricks so we can show that big number.
Is there an estimated value?
Yeah, I believe it's about 60 grand worth of drives.
This is why, like, sometimes I have a hard time coming up with video ideas, and I think it's because, like, my brain never goes to that space where it's like, yeah, I'll just, 80 grand.
Yeah.
My personal rig, which is coming soon because it's done now.
Yeah, you should talk about it.
I spent like $160 on amethyst crystals, and I felt like super bad. I was like, that's a lot of money for a mod. There's cases that are cheaper than this. A lot of them, a lot of really good cases. Literally the case that I'm using is cheaper than this. Anyways, I guess I can talk about my now underwhelming project of my personal rig.
What? It's not underwhelming. It looks
compared
really cool.
to a petabyte server.
Well, okay, we don't want to fall into the 7 gamers 1 CPU trap again. Okay, technically it's 2 servers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that anymore. I should totally call it 1 petabyte 1 server.
You should.
I should totally do it. I should have them silkscreen on the front of the machines. 1 petabyte 1
You
server
should piss
on both
people
of them.
off by calling it a drive because it looks like a drive when you access it. So, one 1 petabyte drive. It's a network drive.
So I'm going to open up the HDD.
Oh man. Anyways, personal rig.
Snap PC's 1's already got it. Crystal Healing PC.
Oh, I didn't push that much in the video. Before the video, John and I spent like weeks talking about how the amethyst crystals were like going to heal us and bring more positive energy into the benchmarking environment. And then I decided not to push that way too much in the video just because I thought it would get boring. And there were so many crazy things that happened that I was like, I'm just going to focus on the crazy building things. Should I say some of this stuff?
Yeah, sure, go for it. I mean, realistically, like, come on, these are WAN show
They're
viewers.
probably
These are
gonna
the
watch it
hardcores.
anyways,
They're
yeah.
gonna watch it.
Yeah. So.
And nothing you say right now is gonna take away the experience of the Brandon Glam B-roll at the end.
That's fair. Yeah,
Right?
That is
Right?
very fair. There's B-roll of my crazy like amethyst gem geode computer shot on a red. So that'll look pretty good. The cooler that I used for it, which was a CryoRig R1 Ultimate, very much didn't fit. It wasn't like it wasn't like a couple millimeters, like it was a huge amount of not fitting.
He comes up to my office and he's like, "Do you think if I start ripping fins off with pliers?" And I'm just like, I just found it. I'm like, I don't know if that is a.
He told me not to do it. And then while we were sitting there talking about something else, I just decided to do it anyways. But spoiler alert, I started from the top.
Just in time. So he starts doing it just in time for me to be like, "Oh, but if you did it this way."
Yeah. Because I'm like, whatever, I'm going to try it. So I start ripping from the top, and he's like, yo, if you just take them off the bottom, then you can keep it looking aesthetically nice at the top. So then I had to try to figure out how to like reattach it.
Reattach
so
fins to a
terrible.
heatsink.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll get to watch that adventure.
Yeah. And so this is like half an hour in, I run into this problem. 2 hours later, this cooler that doesn't fit by like entire fin length, then some heat pipe collision was happening too. I get it to fit. I'm gonna leave out how I get the heat pipes to fit.
Yeah. If it fits, Luke sits, man.
Oh my goodness, brutal. But yeah, I got the CPU cooler to work.
You put that heat pipe back in there?
Yeah, I did. It was close, but like you got to work it, and then after a little while of just like repeated, like you just don't want to push too far because then you might rupture the heat pipes.
Yeah. Ew.
That's true.
That's true. That is true. And once the heat pipes lose their inner juice, they're not effective anymore.
Yeah. That's actually. Did you know heat pipes have like liquid in them
Yeah.
that travels up and then like goes
Not
back
necessarily
down?
liquid, but they do have fluid in them for sure. Because technically, liquid and gas are both fluids. We're trying to be very scientific on the show moving forward.
Yeah. So it got
healing crystals.
Yeah, and then so I figured that out. Go that way for a little while, and then I have to figure out how to put all these freaking. Because in my mind, I was just like, yeah, it's a great case. I'll make it look like a geode. It's not that simple. There's a lot to it.
Another visit to Linus's office later. How would you glue rocks to the inside of a computer? And I'm like, well, gee, Luke, I've never really thought about that. I've never had a desire to do that.
I also emailed Rod.
Yes.
And you know what's funny about this? I emailed Rod like what I'm going to guess off the top of my head was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And he suggested exactly how it should have gone. And I completely forgot. And then ended up figuring it out through trial and error, and then doing exactly what he had told me. If I just listened to him from the start, everything would have been fine.
Rod from BS Mods knows best.
He
man.
saw part of a channel super fun, where when I'm on the phone, because they're trying to prank me, I'm sitting beside it, working on it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I saw some amethyst. You're working on it. That's really cool. And then I'm like, oh man, but he replied to that email thread. I'd completely forgotten about it. And I'm like, I wonder if he told me to do it the way that I ended up doing it. Go up and he says exactly, like, word for word, exactly how where the LEDs should go, even.
Brilliant.
So that it looks better. Like,
all right.
Anyways.
Moving on to some actual news from this week that is not internal LMG
is there
news.
any point?
Samsung is committed to whatever that says. Quality, there we go. We learned from the Galaxy Note 7 issues and have made changes as a result.
Like last time? Like the first time that they learned from the Galaxy Note 7 issues and then made changes as a result?
There's also something
Is this the
about
same?
top load washers. There's a See Details link here as well. Anyway, the point is Samsung's new and enhanced quality assurance measures are for product safety. You can watch a video about it. Samsung's got that linked on their site. So the first...
We should do a factory tour. They should show us their new quality assurance measures.
That would be pretty cool.
And we should broadcast to the world.
I'd be totally down. I was trying to get LG to let us come see their display manufacturing.
Oh, that would have been
Which
really
would have
awesome.
been really cool. But
I would love how to see that.
The thing about LG is that, like, as far as, like, okay, I think that industry is secretive to the point where, like, maybe not quite the, I forget his name, the Soviet rocket scientist who couldn't even be given a Nobel Prize because the Soviets kept his name a secret and he wasn't allowed to have photographs taken of him. Like, he only got secret medals that he wasn't allowed to wear or show anybody. Like,
oh my goodness.
Soviet Russia, man. Like, I don't think it's quite like that, but I think it's to the point where they don't even really want people seeing, like, the layout of the floor and, like, how many people work on that and whatever. Like, because there's a lot of, I mean, the Korean super giants are, like, hyper competitive. So I understand why they didn't let us do it. So anyway, the TLDR of the Samsung thing is the first battery issue was the negative electrode tips touching each other in a curved way, causing a negative charge to occur. The second battery issue was an abnormal weld spot in the middle left of the battery that caused it to short circuit. So in their commitment to quality article, they address why this won't happen again. So it's quality first, which means improved processes throughout the company to make sure quality and safety comes first. I wonder what was first before.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying, like, this is a bad thing to say, and I'm not even suggesting that quality and safety first wasn't already the way that they were designing products. I'm just wondering, so they're just, like, saying, like, yes, and we'll do it better this time. Okay, so there's an 8-point battery safety check now. So an extensive battery check protocol to ensure the safety of the battery, which includes durability tests, charge-discharge tests, visual inspection tests, OCV test, TVOC, I'm not sure exactly what that is, X-ray test, accelerated usage test, and disassembling test. Okay, they've got multi-layer safety measures.
I love how the TVOC test literally just says additional testing to ensure battery integrity. I'm gonna look up what this is.
Let's test validation
Overclock.
of cells. TVOC. Testing and validation of cells.
But
There.
the O is capital.
Well, you know what? I made it up on the spot.
TVOC is a grouping of a wide range of organic chemical compounds to simplify reporting when these are present in ambient air or emissions. Many substances such as natural gas could be classified as volatile organic compounds.
Okay, that's a completely different thing. That has nothing to do with this.
Total volatile organic compounds.
Okay, so it's a multi-layer safety measure. So the idea is to improve safety standards for their batteries, from hardware design to software protection. They also have a team of experts from academia and from research centers to objectively analyze the safety of their batteries, called the BAG, or they're calling it Battery Advisory Group, but I like the BAG better. Okay.
The bag.
The BAG. Did you cover electric cars and cheap solar? Did halt
like,
fossil fuel growth?
Sorta.
Sort of?
But it's very uninteresting.
Okay, cool. So let's move on. This is interesting. So this was posted by Tubbs Always Wins on the
rather
forum.
certain that's actually what it is, by the way. The TVOC thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you win, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not 100% certain.
So the original article here is from The Verge. Apple has filed a patent for some sort of vaporizer. So here's the diagram. So there's a lid.
Okay.
There's a vapor. There's a substance being vaporized or sublimated. There's a heater, which is here, I guess, and a plate.
You can patent this.
Which is here. There's a chamber body, and it should be noted that the chamber body, you can tell from the little lines going this way, are separate from the lid. Okay? So it's not sealed. Okay? So there's
you can patent this. What?
Well, hold on a second. They published a patent application
Okay.
that details a peculiar vaporizer technology. Okay? So, I mean, okay, so some folks might, maybe this is, wishful thinking for some people out there, might go, oh, wow, the iVape. probably
I would be very surprised.
probably not. But basically, the plan is for the apparatus to be able to regulate temperature to release heat from a substance within a canister. They also want to be able to keep air out of the chamber with the substance being vaporized. So, I mean, e-cigarette could be a potential application. Air freshener for a car is one of the other suggestions in the doc, though I'm not really sure about that. No other information available.
I have no idea. I couldn't possibly imagine.
What would you do with a vaporizer if you were Apple? Would you maybe put it in your stores so that Apple stores would have a particular scent?
Okay.
Huh? Maybe it would be
Yeah.
a more efficient way to have an Apple scent
Yeah.
in your store?
Yeah.
I mean,
And it could be like a good-looking thing that makes the scent instead of like a hidden scent thing that a lot of stores use.
yep, they've done like a lot of, that could even be a product. The I smell.
I'm sure they call it something other than that.
Oh, yeah, probably.
It is being, like, weed is being legalized in a lot of states.
Oh, I can't even.
I seriously doubt it.
I
But it
can't
could be
even-
them, no, but it could be them patent trolling a little bit. Here's an idea, let's patent it. If someone wants to use it, they're going to have to pay us. Maybe. That's as far as I'm willing to reach in that direction.
I have a hard time. I mean, Apple's stance on pornography, even in the early days of the iPhone, was like Jobs basically didn't want boobs on his
Yes,
device.
but
So,
Jobs
like,
is pretty down with the drugs.
okay,
Or was.
This is true, but what I mean is like they take a fairly conservative stance as a company, and I don't mean like necessarily conservative in the sense that their CEO can't be out of the closet gay. I just mean like they don't have an I drink.
Yeah.
Like they, even though wine culture in California is absolutely a thing, one of the preloaded things on your iPhone isn't iWine, like a curated way to buy wine with Apple Pay online or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they could easily do any of these things, but they don't. They leave that to the third-party app developers to come up with like a smoking tracker or whatever the case may be, like whatever. So I can't imagine them doing it, but I could be wrong.
I don't know, man. That doesn't make a ton of sense.
Okay, so moving on.
To the most interesting topic we have today.
The most
More
interesting
interesting than all those drives. The Gartner Summit's Data Summit.
What? No,
That
this
was
is
the
the
ad you
Logitech.
closed.
Okay.
I was making a joke.
I didn't even see the ad. I don't even see ads. I'm not aware that they exist. It's like muscle memory.
Don't look. What ad was on your page? Yeah, GoDaddy.
GoDaddy. I had no idea. I would have gone like this, and I would have gone, this pertains to
and
my
it's
interests.
gone.
Sort of.
Okay, so this is fancy and new.
Okay, so I actually got briefed on this earlier this week
Okay.
without asking my permission. I love it when this happens. Like, Nvidia will do this with graphics cards that they know that nobody cares about. They'll send you an email. They're like, the whatever 40 GS is in the mail.
Yeah.
Here's your reviewer's guide.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, I really wasn't going to review this. I mean, now I feel obligated because there's a graphics card in the mail. It's like, it's not like I feel obligated because you've like paid me for my time in some way. I mean, we're talking about, an $80 graphics card. Like there is.
I thought you were going to say we're talking about Nvidia.
No, it's more like a social obligation. Like, you did a thing, you involved me, you made me feel like part of the pre-launch experience. Maybe I should actually review it on time, maybe. Anyway, so they pulled one of those on me. What's it called? The Logitech Spotlight was already in the mail.
Oh, this is a Spotlight. Oh.
Yeah, this is the Spotlight. The Logitech Spotlight was already in the mail by the time I got my briefing call on it.
You're going to use it now.
For what?
You're going to end up using it in some weird video.
Okay, it's actually possible. So Logitech's whole thing is like, we're going to reimagine the presentation remote.
That needed to happen.
Okay, So tell me this.
Yeah.
Let's talk in like super corporate, boring terms.
Okay. I don't do very well with that, but okay.
What are your pain points when it comes to giving presentations? You know, pain points, right? Like that's
Sure.
like addressing a customer need. That's what they're called. They're called pain points.
I don't really feel like I would have any major ones.
No major pain points?
I would feel like if someone was telecommuting in,
Yeah.
I feel like the hardware and software to support that is extremely subpar.
Oh, no, this is for in-person presentations.
Yeah, they mostly seem fine.
Okay, so
I don't have a ton else to say there. I've given presentations too.
Yeah.
Back when I was in school, I had to like present to. Yeah.
okay, so the opening slide of the
I'm sure they have something amazing.
yeah, of the deck that I was shown was like some percentage of people fear public speaking more than death, which is like obviously like a flawed study. We've all heard it before. You've heard
Yeah,
that before,
yeah.
right? Which is ridiculous because
I've never had a problem with that, even before this job.
if you asked, well, it's not even about whether you personally would. It's about the way that they must be collecting data for
Yes.
this
Yeah.
for this study. I mean, you can't call that a study because there's two ways that you can collect data about what someone would prefer: to speak in front of a large audience or to die. You can ask them on the phone, "Hey, so question 6B, would you rather," or you can hold a gun to their head and be like, "Start talking or I'm going to blow your freaking brains all over the..." They'll
Pretty
start
much
talking.
everyone will start talking.
They'll start
and then,
talking.
even then, I bet you it was a mass survey of a whole bunch of questions, and you had to rate it on a scale. And then people went, public speaking, that's a 0. I hate doing that. And then
Yeah.
it was like death, and they're like, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm going to put a 3 because I am satisfied with my life, blah, 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 blah. It's probably just weird emotional response stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, so one of the features it has is that in a minute, you can get 3 hours of presentation battery life. So like,
Okay.
if you were stuck, I think it's 3 hours. Is it 6 hours? It was like a lot. It was like actually, it was actually pretty impressive.
Like, that's cool.
Whatever. In a minute, you can get hours of presentation time. So that's kind of neat. So if like you would stress about, oh no, my remote's not working, how am I going to give this presentation? I'm doing like a TED talk or something.
I think Ted would have you covered.
I think TED would probably have a backup remote. But
Yeah.
look, we're finding pain points, okay?
Yeah.
And we're finding pain points.
I feel like Ted would have someone else actually run
we're
the
finding pain
presentation.
points.
Unless you're doing a TEDx, the independent ones. Then maybe you bring your own, depending on the size. Some of them are done in like basements and stuff.
Okay. So it can communicate via Bluetooth, or it has a dongle that slides into the bottom and also acts as like a handy dandy little loop.
Okay.
Though personally, if I were to put a loop on a product, I would have it be a loop that does not detach from the product. So there's that. That's sort of one piece of feedback. It charges via USB-C. So this is pretty cool. You can adjust the volume by
Wait, like
touch,
its end is
the
USB-C
touchpad.
or the other end is USB-C?
Its end is
both?
USB-C for charging inside
Okay.
it.
And
Yeah.
then it terminates in some other connection on the other end, right?
Yeah.
USB-A.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, all good, all fine. So you can adjust the volume with like a touch pad thing or gestures or something, I think, like that.
Gestures.
Yeah. Here we go. So you can assign one of several abilities to the top or bottom buttons. You can fast forward, you can blank the screen, you can scroll. You can set it for a custom keystroke. So some of the Logitech G, programmable nonsense makes its way into it. I thought this was pretty cool. You can move a cursor around and you can zoom in on your cursor point. Like
Okay.
with a little, like the spotlight.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can have a little spotlight. And it feels really good in the hand. It comes in matte colors and is available exclusively on Logitech.com and through the Apple Store for the first month.
You said something about gestures?
Yeah, I think there's gestures. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't see anything about gestures in this article. I don't know. It's a presentation remote, and it's like $130 or something like that. It feels really good in the hand, though. It's metal.
So if you're like a baller business dude and you're like, I want the best presentation remote.
Yes. Then you
Cool.
would buy one of these.
Yeah. All right.
So that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This has kind of been a painful week.
Have you noticed how like if you're on like a product, I'm not gonna be able to relate to a ton of people right now, but if you're on like a product conference call
Yeah.
and they're trying to like explain things to you, have you noticed like the quality is often terrible?
No.
And like I don't think that it's the mics. I don't necessarily think it's the webcams, but the webcams are often terrible too. And like the screen sharing software is often garbage.
I've had pretty good experiences.
Really?
Yeah, Logitech did the one through.
But Logitech makes this stuff, so they probably use their own really high-end things, and they're probably great. I'm talking like when it's not companies that make presentation things.
Yeah, well, no, Logitech doesn't have their own, like you're talking like GoToMeeting or like WebEx and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Logitech was using one that I actually don't think I've used before. It was pretty good. My last couple of GoToMeetings have been pretty good.
I've had a lot of WebEx ones that were just sort of terrible. It could be the like way it's set up or something. Connecting to them seems really clunky too.
I don't know, man. You'd think this kind of stuff would be very simple by now.
That's what, yeah.
I remember seeing a demo at, I think it was some developer conference or some kind of show. And the demo was like this, it was this social like video sharing application. And the idea was that it was kind of like chat rooms. And you could have like dozens of users all represented by like little tiny bubbles. And you could like drag your bubble.
Yeah.
Did you see this too?
I think I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, and you could like drag your bubble from one room into another, and then you were all just kind of like sitting there chatting, and you all just had your bubbles. And it was kind of like Skype, but I think the idea behind it was that you could share experiences through it as well.
Yeah.
So you could all watch a movie together, for example, which is probably why it never got off the ground, because that has all kinds of like content protection issues associated with it. But
the thing that drives me crazy is you hear about these like, remember we met that dude? I have to be super vague here, and he was the engineer who was making the crazy stuff that we weren't allowed to talk about it, and he wasn't allowed to talk about it too much.
Oh, in the airport?
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to try to leave the airport out just to even try to make it more vague.
Yeah.
But that's as far as I'm going to go there. Like, they're making crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff already exists. I've been into conference rooms where I'm like, wow, the hardware you guys have to broadcast to people that aren't in this room is amazing.
Yeah.
And then I get on some of these calls and I'm just like, it sounds like crap. It looks like crap.
Yeah.
What's going on? This can't be the hardware that's in these rooms.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like the way that, so like wireless access point beamforming.
I haven't had a conference call with Logitech.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
Wireless access point beamforming, that's a thing. So that's where you have an array of antennas that pick up where the clients are effectively and make sure that the signal strength is as good as it could possibly be. So I think like our Ruckus R710 has something like, I don't remember how many it is. It's like 40 antennas. Okay, it's not that. I don't remember how many it is.
It's crazy.
But it has lots of antennas, and it uses this beamforming in order to have better signal strength. And this type of beamforming also exists for audio. So that's how something like noise cancellation on a pair of wireless headphones works, where it'll go, okay, this one and this one are working together to pick up your voice, and then this Omni one over here is trying to find anything that's not your voice, and they'll be able to cancel out anything that isn't you algorithmically using multiple microphones. And so there is crazy stuff that exists.
Wow.
But it's either very, very expensive or not even possible to buy unless you like call up a solutions engineer from one of these companies and go, do you guys have anything like this? And they go, yeah, sure, we'll have someone in the lab like hand make it for you.
Yeah.
I mean, a perfect example of something like that was Sony's laser projector that they showed off a couple of years ago at CES, where that was kind of like this in-between. It was in between having a SKU that goes in a box with a part number that sits on a shelf at Best Buy, and you having to like call Sony and have them build something custom, because they did create a SKU, but you had to like call them and special order it.
Yeah.
And they would hand make them one at a time in Japan and ship it to you. So there's this gamut, there's this spectrum of like go-to-market strategies.
Yeah.
Speaking of go-to-market strategies, one of the best ways to go to market is to advertise on the WAN show, just like Freshbooks does.
Yeah.
Freshbooks, guys, if you're a small business owner or a freelancer, you are going to want to check out Freshbooks. Freshbooks lets you save time Make more money because you can spend your time doing your business. Doing your business sounds wrong. Okay, so you can spend time working on your business rather than just doing accounting junk. And you can look more professional and organized to your clients simply by using it. So it's a cloud-based accounting software that lets you send out invoices, track your expenses, track your hours, and it is designed for people who are not like career accountants. So it's easy to use, but if you have trouble, you can call them, and when you call them, you will talk to a real human, no phone tree, no escalations, nothing. Just someone picks up the phone and talks to you about how it works. So visit freshbooks.com/WAN to claim your free 30-day trial and enter WAN in the How Did You Hear About Us section. They've also got a mobile card reader now, which is super cool. Also advertising on the WAN show. Oh, this is interesting. What? Yeah, because you're a total scruff today.
Okay, I explained this in the intro of my personal rig video. It has taken so long to get my personal rig video done that I decided on the first day that I started working on it, actually, that I wasn't going to shave or get a haircut until I was done. And then it ended up being like a really long time.
You don't even look like playoff beard. You just look like kind of unkempt.
It's really bad. So like it goes pretty far down, which is rough. I get this stupid bald patch thingy here, which is rough. But it's not actually bald. Someone mentioned before that I might have like something wrong. It's some weird disease thing. No, there's hair there. It's just thinner. And then like all of this, like if I flare it out, oh, that legitimately goes to like here on my hand.
That's awful.
It's yeah.
Okay, so don't look like Luke.
What I was gonna add is every single time that we do a Dollar Shave Club ad, I haven't shaved in an extended period of time, and I don't know why that keeps happening.
They're gonna cut us off.
Hopefully not.
At some point.
See, but the thing is, when they're not doing advertisements for us, I am clean shaven. So it's kind of like them being like, hey,
wow,
you should fix this.
Okay, so don't look like him.
Or a before and after photo.
Join Dollar Shave Club. Dollar Shave Club lets you have a nice clean shave with a fresh razor anytime you want, because instead of having to, go out and get someone to unlock the stupid thing and then get to the checkout, only to realize that you're paying an incredible amount of money for what is effectively like little strips of steel mounted in plastic with like different plastic that keeps you from slicing your fingers open on it while you're opening it. Like just incredible amounts of money. Dollar Shave Club saves you hassle and saves you money by shipping their razors directly to your door on a fixed schedule, so you do not have to think about it. You can just grab a new blade whenever you're ready to rock, start shaving. Start shaving.
That's the difficult part.
Finish shaving.
When they deliver it to your door, the only remaining difficult part is starting to shave.
Starting to shave. And then you can look like you leave the house without actually leaving the house. So they've got a special offer now. You can get a 1-month trial of their best razor for $1 with free shipping, and after that, it's just a few bucks a month. No long-term commitment, no hidden fees. You can cancel anytime you want. So head over to dollarshaveclub.com/Linus. Leading us to our last sponsor of the day, Squarespace. Good old Squarespace. Squarespace lets you build a website. That's just all I should say, because everything else about it is kind of like autopilot.
It's kind of extrapolating the...
You pick a template.
Yeah.
They handle all the hosting.
Yeah.
It starts at $12 a month.
Yep.
Every template looks good on every device, regardless of screen size.
It just works.
They all include their commerce module. You can make changes anytime you want through their web GUI.
Which will work.
You can publish an Apple News format to your Squarespace blog module.
That'll work too.
You can...
I'm trying to convince them to change their slogan to "It just works."
To "It just works."
Squarespace, it just works.
I think that's isn't that like Apple's old slogan? I don't think they can do that.
Is it?
Yeah, isn't that like Apple? It just works. I think so. It just works.
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard, at E3.
What?
Where did the "It Just Works" meme originate? Out of the Loop Reddit. Check that out. In the meantime, Squarespace is all about taking the hassle out of having your own website, whether you're, running a little league team in your town, or whether you have a restaurant, or whether you resell Squarespace service. That is something that people totally do, is they just set people up with Squarespace sites, they make them look really beautiful for them, and then they hand over the keys, and they go, boom, here's your website, it's awesome, it only costs you a few bucks a month to maintain. Bam.
Hi, Shane. Friend Shane literally does that. Or has done that, I guess.
Well, you end up with a good website, and from a person who's designing websites perspective, there's no hassle after the fact.
Someone okay, this is a legit story. I might
Yeah.
screw up one or two small parts of it, but the general framing of the story is legit. Buddy Shane, person comes up to them, has spent tons of money on a web designer, wasn't going well. He's like, here, give me your credit card. Da 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 da. Gets them on Squarespace. Which one do you like? That one. Click. Da 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 da. Fill in your stuff. Da 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 da. Okay, you're done. That's all you needed. Everything's fine. They spent a lot of money on a web designer. And then they were way more happy with this is an actual, I'm leaving some details out because I don't know the exact amount of money.
Right.
I don't know how long they were struggling with it. I don't, there's it's a much more interesting story when you know all the details, but that did happen. Something along those lines did happen.
Yeah, dog. All right, so on to the rest of the news. We actually do have a lot more topics than I thought. I wonder if Colton's been adding them since we started streaming, because there's pages and pages now. Time Warner apparently cheated customers on internet speed, says the New York Attorney General. I'm assuming that's what AG stands for. So the original article here is from the pressherald.com. Subscribers to the company's premium plan received internet speed as much as 70% slower than guaranteed in their ads, the lawsuit says. Now, I think it's been a long time since an ISP has actually guaranteed a speed in their ads. Everyone in Canada just says up to, so that they don't end up getting sued over this stuff. But so Charter acquired Time Warner Cable last year for $55 billion. I didn't realize they renamed it Spectrum. The suit was filed on Wednesday following a 16-month probe that included reviewing internal corporate communications and hundreds of thousands of subscriber speed tests. The investigation found that Spectrum Time Warner subscribers were getting dramatically shortchanged on both speed and reliability. Justin Vinek, a spokesman, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, for Charter, said the company is disappointed with the decision to sue because it was based on service promises advertised before the company acquired Time Warner Cable.
Okay.
Well,
so
then,
man up.
Yeah. Okay. Noctua releases 3 CPU coolers specifically for AMD Ryzen. This is a really good sign for reasons that might not be immediately apparent. So they've got the NHL 12. So first of all, this tells us something about Ryzen, and that is that there will be SKUs available that will be power and thermally efficient enough to use to use a low-profile cooler like this. Sorry?
And hockey sticks?
What about hockey sticks?
NHL.
Oh, thank you for that.
I tried.
You did.
We didn't make it there.
You know what? I'll take the blame for that one.
I appreciate it. It's okay, but I appreciate it.
I mean, if it was 2012 and you'd been like NHL 12,
it would have been
wouldn't have gotten any better, actually.
Probably
It would
not.
have been terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so it tells us that. They also have a high-performance cooler. They have a special edition NHD15. So this is the SE-AM4. This is really cool because it tells us that the scuttlebutt within the industry, a lot of which doesn't make its way into the media because of NDAs, but it tells us that the scuttlebutt within the industry is that AMD is going to have a processor that is high performance enough to justify putting a $100 cooler on top of it, right? So we're not getting like a $149.99. We priced it that way because that's all it competes with.
I feel like you
CPU.
should make a video breaking down the potential expectations of the results of these coolers.
It would be a very speculative video. I don't know, man.
I would be interested.
So here's a look at it.
Straw poll.
The other thing this tells us, okay, the fact that there are 3 coolers tells us that Noctua is expecting high enough sales volume of AM4 processors. Again, industry scuttlebutt here. high enough sales volumes that one cooler company can have 3 dedicated SKUs for just this platform, something that they haven't done for a long time for AMD processors. So this is like indirectly great news. There have also been some Ryzen leaks. Apparently they are not in the doc. Ryzen leak, Linus Tech Tips, but I was reading about it on the forum earlier this week. The Ryzen CPU lineup possibly leaked, so we'll just pull up the, no we won't. Okay, so we will go like this.
Thanks for saving that.
Okay, and check this out. So this was originally posted over on WCCF Tech, so take it with whatever your opinion of WCCF Tech is. But this, source Kulalr.com. Kulalr has been known for leaking a lot of stuff in the past, actually. Apparently, we're going to get like a Radeon-style R prefix. Then we're getting these completely indecipherable model names, apparently.
Why R?
Well, with the graphics cards, it was Radeon. Oh, Ryzen.
No.
Yeah, I hate it too. So it looks like we're going to get 8-core 16-thread, anywhere from 3 to 3.6 gigahertz, with the intention of competing against the 7700K to 6900K. Now, this is a little confusing to me, because if they're showing off 6900K competitors, which are, according to this chart, expected to be at the top end, that are running without AMD's clock speed boosting technology running, how is it that an 8-core 16-thread at only 600 megahertz less would be competitive with a 7700? Because these two perform very similarly in non-heavily threaded workloads, and this gets creamed by this in heavily multi-threaded workloads. So this is going to be very interesting in a while or so. I don't know when Ryzen's coming.
Yeah. Have you seen that dude who bends a pin every day or whatever?
On what?
He has an older AMD processor. Do not remember which one it is. I guess it literally has to be older because there aren't any other ones right now. And he bends a pin on it, I think, every single day that they don't announce the release date of Ryzen.
Well, that'll give him like 3 years worth of pins to bend.
Well, no, like he started, I think, since CES. So like he's been
just
going.
This CES?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that still gives him like 3 years of pins to bend. So I think he'll make it.
He's through like a row and a half or something of pins.
Nice. Speaking of bending pins, would you guys like to see, I'm not going to do a straw poll, just hit me up in Twitch chat. Would you guys like to see a guide on repairing LGA sockets?
You're really good at it, so I would like to see that guide.
Because Luke brought me a socket that
I thought it was screwed.
That got wrecked.
As far as I could tell when looking at it, it was pretty much a done deal. I thought there's a few areas where you could see damage. And I thought one of them in particular, I literally thought the pin was missing. So I was like,
and when that's,
can't fix that.
When that's the case, you're done.
Yeah.
But I actually have a dead LGA 2011 3 board. It's really unfortunate. It's a WS board, which is like, so it's like a $600 board. I got in touch with ASUS. It would cost me like $350 to repair the socket. And I'm just like, yeah, and it's still a used board with like a used socket soldered onto it now. Like, I don't, maybe a new socket, but like, I don't know. It sketched me out. But I could sacrifice what's left of it, because you know what, it actually kind of still works, except that some.
Okay, but yeah, I think for this video to carry weight, it has to be a motherboard that will work when you're done. So you have to go from like, look, everything's in, it doesn't turn on properly, take it out, look how terrible it is, fix, boot it back up, this works.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if I don't know if everyone agrees with me, but I feel like that adds a lot more weight to the
I wish we had done it on that board then, because there were pins in the socket. I don't know if you guys have looked that closely at them, but basically they stick up kind of like this. They're kind of flat, and then they go up, and then they come out, and then there's like a pad on the end. There's like, it's more joints than my finger has, but basically, I can't believe you just did that. You're on camera too. Anyway, it sticks up like this. These were bent all the way over. So I had to bend them all the way back like this.
It was pretty impressive. I was like, he's fixed a lot of crazy sockets before.
It's working though.
It is working. It is completely
So
working.
maybe next time we have a bent socket, we'll tackle it, because the bent pin repair video that I did back on NCIX Tech Tips was also done under similar circumstances. I was trying to get a video done, and the pin, well, broke off eventually.
Yeah.
Have you watched that video?
No.
Okay. So the pin was bent, and in trying
like
to
you
bend
told
it
me about
back,
this.
I broke it off. That CPU is still running in my parents' desktop. Still running. Anyway, so that video, we filmed it as an impromptu thing in the middle of a completely separate video that just happened to need that. I needed that processor for it. And the reason that I had to repair it rather than go into the warehouse and grab another one is we were filming after hours and I couldn't go get another one. I had no choice. I had to fix it. So maybe next time we'll do that.
Cool.
I don't even remember what the news item that we were talking about was. There is more Ryzen news this week, though, aside from the lineup being revealed. And that lineup looks very promising. The fact that AMD, because there's a lot of costs associated with bringing a SKU to market, even just stupid stuff like packaging and marketing and expecting distributors and retailers to stock all this stuff. They have to be expecting sales volume if they're going to have like what looked like 15 to 20 SKUs at launch. More good news. AMD expected to provide Windows 7 drivers for their upcoming Ryzen CPUs. And you might think, oh, well, yeah, of course. But remember, a lot of the Windows 7 support for modern hardware comes from it having already supported Windows 7 before. Like graphics cards, stuff like that, yeah, sure. But there's no real guarantee. Once it's on Microsoft's end of support roadmap, there's no real guarantee that you're going to get proper support. Because Ryzen will probably work on Vista too, but they might not guarantee it. So official support means that they're going to support it and they're going to make sure that there are no bugs, even though it might work on other stuff. So that's a very important distinction, and more good news about AMD Ryzen. We should just call this the Good News About Ryzen show.
You know how with Steam, you can stream games over a network?
Yeah.
There's if you have it installed on another computer somewhere else, there's the stream button, right? What if you did it over the same computer using Unraid?
That could be done. I can't think of a good reason to do it, though.
Not wanting to use Windows.
Oh, like not wanting to use Windows for your actual desktop experience. So could you pass through much of, well, you wouldn't even need to pass through as much resources because Linux is just lighter.
Yeah.
So if you had a 10-core Extreme Edition or something and you passed through 4 of your cores, or you could even do 6 of your cores to your desktop experience, and you used 4 of them for a Windows gaming VM, and you streamed off of that, yes, that could actually work quite well.
I kind of want to do that. Windows 10 is really annoying. Oh man, I sort of hate it. There was even a post on PCMR today, I think it hit the top, where the guy has all notification settings and all advertisement and everything turned off everywhere. And Cortana, even though disabled, comes in the corners hey, have you figured out your Super Bowl snacks yet? Pissed off. I actually really hate using that operating system. And I would love to use Windows 7, but then we have topics like this, where it's oh, yay, new hardware supports it, instead of course, new hardware supports it.
So here's an interesting little tidbit. I found a Windows 8.1 unused license key in the office today, and I had a thought. You know how we're having a lot of issues with stability with Adobe Media Encoder? I am going to try putting one of our render machines on Windows 8.1 and see what happens.
My brother swears by it. He uses 8.1 and suggests it to everybody.
It has a lot of the optimizations. Things like SMB multi-channel optimizations, things like the much better task manager and file transfer stuff, all of that stuff. Doesn't have DirectX 12 support.
Who cares?
But I want to try it out because one of the writer applicants
Like, it's okay, to be fair with the who cares, like,
Yeah.
it's really stupid that it doesn't have that support, but it's not better yet, at least,
Yeah.
so don't worry about it, it's fine.
So one of the writer applicants worked on a video that we probably won't end up releasing just because I wasn't there to oversee the testing methodology. We paid him for the work anyway, but like, so he benchmarked Windows Vista 7, 8.1, and 10 to determine, is there truly an operating system that performs better? And Windows 8.1 came on top.
Yeah.
Like, consistently.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to see how it goes. Like, yes, the start menu's garbage, but you can replace it.
Yep. Classic start.
Yep.
Classic start? Yeah.
think so.
Shell?
Can't remember.
I believe
but-
it's short start.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Firefox OS, speaking of operating systems, is dead. Mozilla kills off the open source Internet of Things project with 50 layoffs. And the original article is from ZDNet. There's not really a whole lot to add other than that. We have shifted our internal focus, or our internal approach to the Internet of Things opportunity to step back from a focus on launching and scaling commercial products to one focused on research and advanced development. Okay. So basically, it's not there yet. So we'll like hire a team later.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the Nintendo Online service will cost less than $30 a year,
that's
apparently.
very reasonable.
But unlike PlayStation Network, PSN, and like other things, your monthly like random little game that you get, you don't get to keep it. So you essentially get like a random game for a month, and then it's gone.
Okay.
So you lose like a lot of the
Okay.
benefit and save half the money. So if you didn't care at all about the games that you would get included, I'm not going to say for free, included with the other services,
Yeah.
then this is better because it's cheaper. But then I think a lot of the value proposition of this is going to be figured out when they actually roll it out, because they're new to the kind of party.
Right.
And their online services have been absolute trash.
Yeah.
So now that they're charging for it, they better step their game up.
And I love how they just shut them down. Like, I really liked playing Mario Kart DS. And they're just like, peace.
It's gone.
And there's no, community replacement option. Just, yep, that thing that you enjoyed about that thing you bought, maybe you should have played it more when it was still available, bruh. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes for them.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of let's see how that goes for them. There's a lot of speculation that if Switch isn't like a resounding success, Nintendo's not going to do another living room console. Just move to...
But then this is hard to even define as a living room console. There's been
Yeah.
a lot of talk about that. It's basically a hybrid. And like honestly, wow, using it in handheld mode is amazing. And like handheld mode and tabletop mode were the main interesting things. Honestly, when I was using the like TV mode experience, it was good, but it was just good. The handheld mode was awesome. It felt like the best version of a DS just because the screen is huge. And like if you take the controllers off, it's actually pretty easy to pack somewhere. Certain games, like if you get Zelda, certain editions of Zelda, like the special editions and stuff, come with a sleeve, so you can take your Switch with you. Like they're very much approaching it from a mobile standard.
The original article here is from Ars Technica, posted by M. Yurizaki or something like that on the forum. Nvidia to stop people from reselling promotional game codes by tying the codes to hardware. So to be clear, the game is not tied to that video card forever. So if you were to change your video card down the road, you still get to keep it. But redeeming the game permanently adds the game to the appropriate third-party service, and they have confirmed that GeForce Experience will check that the user has installed a qualifying graphics card, but again, the game will not be permanently linked to the hardware. I get it. I'm not thrilled about it because I personally would often use like bundled games as
To
sort
offset the cost of your card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like when I already owned it, it's just kind of a bummer if I already bought it. So yeah, that sucks. We've talked about that already. LG's 5K monitor, this was originally posted by GoodBytes, is not cooperating well with routers. And LG is recommending keeping your monitor at least 7 feet away from your router. Apparently, once the router, oh, they don't have a picture of it happening or anything, but apparently once the router gets too close, it causes interference with the display and causes it to not work properly. So it can flicker, disconnect, or freeze the computer due to electromagnetic interference. LG has acknowledged the problem, but they don't have anything specific that they're saying about what they plan to do to address it. I think that's pretty much it for today. Yep, that's it.
Do you want to talk about the 58 gigabyte HD texture pack for Fallout 4 really quick?
Sure.
Okay, so basically what I just said, 58 gigabyte HD texture pack for Fallout 4. That's crazy. Your PC will need to meet or exceed the recommended specs to run this pack. The recommended specs that they're talking about is Windows 7,
Wow.
8, or 10.
Look at that.
An Intel Core i7 5820K or better.
Holy
a GTX 1080 8 gig or better. And 8 gigs of RAM or better.
That looks incredible, though.
Yeah.
With your new personal rig, you'll be able to chew through that.
And maybe stream it.
Wicked. All right, so thanks for tuning into the WAN Show, guys. We will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yay.
Oh, right, the outro. Well, the intro, but like with no, yeah, there's no audio. I could try and find the audio one. I don't know where Ed put it.
Did someone else bring in a foam roller, or is this for filming?
I have no idea. I just don't question things anymore. Intro. Is there something that he modified today? Nope. I have no idea. Okay. And